Once installed, the Endpoint Migration Assistant is located in the menu under Policy. The first decision you're faced with is deciding which migration path to follow, manual or automatic. On the left, you'll see a detailed description of the selected mode. Below, we've provided additional resources to help you during your migration. First, we'll demonstrate manual migration. Manual migration migrates policies or client tasks for your legacy products. For this demonstration, we'll migrate policies. On the left, you see all of your legacy products and policy categories. Select the legacy policies you want to migrate. For each policy type you select, you can choose one policy to migrate. For virus scan policies, the default is to migrate workstation settings for all policies. This can be edited if you want to migrate the server settings instead. The multiple on-access policies in virus scan have been consolidated in Endpoint Security. As a result, when you select any on-access policy, they all move over. For each category, select which policies you want merged into the new Endpoint Security on-access policy. Selecting None will result in Endpoint Security defaults being used. You can continue to select as many policy categories for as many legacy products as you wish for this manual migration session. At the top of the page, you see tabs for each endpoint security policy being created. Each tab gives a preview of the new policy that will be created when the selected source policies are migrated. The details of the source policy are shown in the left pane. Access protection is an example of a one-to-one policy migration. You will notice the Migration Assistant gives the new endpoint security policy the same name as the source policy. You have the opportunity to edit the policy at this time if needed. On-access scan is an example of a many-to-one policy migration. On the left, you see the multiple legacy policies that contribute to the new Endpoint Security on-access scan policy. You are required to give a name to the new consolidated policy. During migration, the Migration Assistant creates policy notes that include the name of the source policy or policies, the migration date and time, and the name of the user who migrated the policy. Notes from the legacy policies are not migrated. After reviewing all tabs, the Migration Assistant will display a summary of all the new policies that will be created during this manual migration session. Select Save to add the new policies to the policy catalog. You're now ready to assign the new policies to your managed systems. Now we will demonstrate automatic migration. Automatic migration creates and assigns your new endpoint security policies and tasks based on the legacy products you have installed. If host intrusion prevention is installed, it will also migrate your catalog items to the new endpoint security firewall catalog. If you have virus scan installed, select whether you want to migrate the workstation or server settings. The Migration Assistant generates a preview of the new policies that will be created. No preview is provided for the client tasks or host IPS catalog because the new objects will not look significantly different than the legacy objects. On the left are the new policy categories for each of the endpoint security modules. The new policies that will be created appear in the table on the right. For one-to-one policy migrations, such as access protection, the new policy will have the same name as the source policy. The addition of the -1 indicates there is already a policy with that name. In this case, it was created during the previous manual migration. For many-to-one policy migrations, such as on-access scan, the Migration Assistant will automatically generate a new name. You have the option to rename any policy or edit automatically generated notes at this time. Select Save to complete the migration. The Migration Assistant runs a server task to migrate your settings in the background. The server task must be completed before starting another migration session. You can check the status in the server task log. Once complete, you can view the newly created objects in their respective locations: the policy catalog, the client task catalog, and the firewall catalog.